Oh my gosh, this thing is incredible now. Hello drone racers, this is my Eachine Lizard95 that I reviewed about a week ago, and at the time I absolutely fell in love with it, and it's only gotten better since then. I'm going to show you the two things that I did to it to go from the video on the left, which is straight out of the box from that review, to what you see on the right. That is about 1,000 times smoother. All the jello is gone, all the jitter is gone, most of the prop wash is gone. Not all the prop wash is gone, there's still a little bit there, but it's night and day compared to where it was. It was already a great quad, now it's an amazingly great quad in my opinion. So the first thing I tried to do was play with the PIDs and get the shakeout, and that was a total failure. I couldn't do it. I'm not good enough to do it. Maybe somebody else could, but I couldn't. So I gave up on that, went back to the default PIDs. Then I put in these. I soft mounted the motors, and that made a world of difference right off the bat. These motors are great and pretty easy to soft mount because there's a ton of metal here before you get to the windings, so you've got a lot of room to work with. It took me a little bit to figure out what to get and how to do it. The same day I figured it out, there are now soft mounts available on Banggood that I'll link to down below. They're not actually for this size. I'm not exactly sure if they're going to work or not, but I've already ordered some. I'll let you know I'm going to try them. So that would be a whole lot easier than what I did. First I tried to do it with foam, and it just doesn't work. At least it didn't for me. There's not enough space under here to not get the C-clip to stay away from the screws. That didn't work at all. So I went to the plumbing section at Lowe's and bought these. These are just rubber O-rings, and they're a little harder than I wanted to get. I thought they might be a problem, but they ended up working out really, really well. So I got those, and I went to my local hobby shop and got these. These are M2 6mm screws, and that ended up being just the right length for me. If you don't have a local hobby shop to get them from, you probably can't get these at your hardware store, so I will leave a link down below. I think I found them on Banggood where you can order them also. But get them wherever you need to. So I'm actually going to take off one of these motors and mount it with this just so you can see how I did it. So there are my screws and my O-ring and the motor, and everything is off. You'll notice there's no Loctite on them. I have not put Loctite on these yet because I'm still experimenting, figuring out what I'm gonna do. I'm just checking them constantly. If you do this, put Loctite on them so they stay in place. But they actually do hold pretty well without it. So it's not too difficult, but the first two are easy because all you have to do is get the mount on there and get the ring on and get the screw lined up. So then it doesn't matter exactly how everything is lined up on this first one. You just have to get the screw in there. And don't screw it in tight. That's a key part with soft mounting. You don't want it to be tight, especially for this first one because you need it to be maneuverable. So then the second one goes in. These first two are really easy. I'm sure you will not have any problem at all with these. Okay, the third one, if you're doing it with these same O-rings, and I only have O-rings on the outside, I don't have any on the inside. Originally I wanted to put them on the inside of the post. It would probably be a little easier. I just couldn't find the right size. So these are what I use. Feel free to use whatever you can. So it gets a little more complicated if you're doing this on the outside once you get to the third one, because now the rubber is in the way. So I just took my Allen wrench. These motors are made really well to make it easy to get into. So I just put this with my finger, putting pressure on the screw, and I just pull this out and out of the way until the screw slides up. And now, because I have the first two in, I know everything is lined up, and I just screw it down. Just barely finger tight for now. And then we do the same thing with the fourth one. Pull it out enough that the screw will slide in, and then tighten it down just barely finger tight. Now getting these set to the right depth is probably the hardest part because you don't want to torque it down completely. So what I did is, I don't know if you can see it there. There, you can just see right there, just a little bit. See right here, there's just a little bit of a screw sticking out of there. Just a teeny tiny amount, and that's where I torqued all these down to. I didn't do it by tension, I did it by eyeballing it and getting them all just the right depth. Yeah, pro tip when you do this, take the blades off. Don't be lazy like I just was, because I bent the heck out of these the first time and I had to bend them all back in place, and it definitely didn't help. Crooked blades definitely don't help with this process, but it still flew great because I have not replaced a single thing on this yet. I have crashed it into the house, into the driveway, into the grass from really high distances, and just dropped it out of the sky. Haven't broken, cracked, or done anything yet. These blades have been bent enough. They probably do need replaced at this point, but it still flies. It still flies great, which you'll see in just a minute after we cover one problem I found with this. If you look here, there is not a lot of clearance with this. So right here, this cleared just fine before you raise the motors. But once you raise the motors, you have a clearance problem. So I can occasionally actually hear the blades strike, and I've got some dents and chips on the corner of my blades here. So I'm gonna have to watch that and see how that responds and see if it causes me problems. It seems to be okay. It's worked out for me. It's fine in the back. There's no problem at all in the back. But that alone made a humongous difference by soft mounting these motors. I took it out and I couldn't believe the difference. But I still had a lot of prop wash. So the next thing I had to do was get rid of the prop wash. I basically just followed the Joshua Bardwell video, which I'll link up above. I went into the CLI for the first step and had to do a get low pass. That showed me that I had the D-term low pass type biquad, exactly like it said in the video. And from there, I had to set it to PT1. This is the first step. I went ahead and did this and saved it and went and did a test flight and could tell a difference, but still had enough prop wash that I knew I was going to move on to the next step. So after saving it here, I went and flew it. Everything was good, came back, and then I did step 2 in the filter settings. Here, the gyro notch filters were both set to the defaults, the 400 and the 200. So I just reset those and turned them off, reset them to 0 in both cases, and then saved it. I didn't move on to the next step in the final step, but this is how far I've gone so far. All right, so we have all modifications in place now, a good battery charged and ready to go. Let's see how it goes. Someone out on the golf course. Stay away from the people. So we still have a little bit of prop wash. I can still get some, but it's a lot better than it was. Yeah, overall the thing is hugely improved. Definitely still have some prop wash. We might try eventually the last, wow. And we can drain a battery in no time flat on full speed on this thing. Wow, it's fast. Wow, it sounds funny. I wonder if I'm burning up the motors. All right, so we're gonna come bring it back real fast. Check the temperature, because man, that sounds not like a sound I'm used to. So let's see how it is. See if those motors are on fire, or if it's fine and it's just really, really taxing. Oh, they're not even warm. They're not even a little warm. They're absolutely just fine. That's awesome. That is really, really awesome. Oh my gosh, this thing is incredible now. So there you have it. I'm certainly not done. With a little more playing with the filters and now tuning, I think I can get rid of the rest of that prop wash and make it even more incredible, even though it's great already. Another thing is I've gotten some other blades to try. So we're gonna try these blades that I'll link down below and see how they go. They're 4-blade props. They are the same length, but they have a little bit of a curve to them, which I think will make them fit and cure my problem here. And they have a little more pitch to them, so I'm curious to see what they do. And then I have 2 or 3 or 4 different types of batteries to try on the way for it, because I have been abusing this battery. after I finished that last video, I think on my 3S it hits 5.8 volts on 3S. That's a bad thing. It didn't puff. It charged right back up. It didn't have any problem, but that battery is just gonna die. It's gonna die hard. So in the next video, we'll see if we can get rid of the rest of the prop wash, and we'll start trying some different props and some motors, because I'm not done with this thing and it keeps getting better. This is right now by far my favorite quad. So if you want to see more of those videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get updates on any of the videos that come out in the future. And if you found a better way to soft mount the motors, because I do think it's going to be really important. I think everybody's probably going to get the best results going to have to soft mount the motors for this. If you found a better way that I should try, comment down below and let me know. I'll try just about anything. So until next time, remember, soft mount is good.